Welcome back to Planting Life Matters.
Did you know there is an 11th commandment that's called love thy neighbor's garden? Let's do a mini makeover for the neighbor. We all have something to share, so let's get started. I really should be embarrassed, but maybe this is part of my healing to show what's really happening in my garage. I know I'm not alone. I know there are other people out there that's just as junky as I am. But this is what I'm doing. I'm looking for items that I can donate to a neighbor. So, wish me luck, because it's scary in here. And believe me, y'all, I'm not even showing you everything. It don't make no sense to have this much stuff in your garage, so unorganized. But I actually know where everything is. Okay, so I got a few supplies, and I picked up this really lovely yellow planter from At Homes along with that gnome. And I'm going with that color because when I talked to my neighbor, she said she loves yellow. So I'm going to pull a few plants out of the garden here to save on cost and see what we can do with this planter. I am going to try and take some yellow canna lily. Again, I found something yellow that she would like. And so I'm gonna dig this one up and see if we can transplant this to our planter. And then I'm going to pull some other items and see if we can come up with a thriller, a spiller, and a filler. So I thought I'd show how when I go to dig up the canna lily, you can see how many plants are coming from those rhizome roots. Now this may have started as just one, but there are multiple trunks there. So that actually means that I have several different plants that I could create. I don't have to take all of those and put them in one planter. I could make several plants out of this. It has a good root system on it. If I was transferring this into the ground, I'd take as much of that soil to have a good root ball. But these are so happy and they move so fast. And what I mean by move, they grow pretty rapidly. I could even take less soil. Since I'm putting it in the planter, I'm not going to use all the soil that is here. I will split this up and maybe take 2 or 3 to put in the middle of the planter itself. So let's just kind of look at the area again of what I'm working with. I have an idea for that little bench there. Lots of little lights up here. I don't know if they all work or not, but I did pick up some additional lights. And this is the brown mulch that we entered or put in. And let me show you what color it used to be. It was red, so I still need a few more bags to finish that off. And I am going to figure out what to do with the shrubs. For now, I'm going to leave them, and later on I'll probably take them out and replace them with something else. But for now, we're just going to do a little bit at a time. All right, so now we have 2. So I am on a hunt to find some things that I already have. Oh man, let me stop for a minute. Oh, I can't even get through my path because of the red crepe myrtles. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. But when it rains and when the sprinklers come on, they tend to flop. This crepe myrtle is more like a crepe myrtle shrub than it is a tree. It's been here for many years and it's not taken off really until about 2 years ago when I thought it was dead. So I need to cut back some branches and tie some things up. But I gotta tell you, it's really hard to cut that off. Oh my gosh. So I remembered a pot that I have. I love this pot. I have a larger version that I've been having these for years. I love this pot. I love black and white. Oh my gosh, I like that. So I'm gonna grab this pot and look for other things that I can share in the garden. Oh, since she loves yellow, ooh, I can get in here and give her one of these. So I'll grab one of those too. I'm so excited. I found more yellow. So what I'm really doing is looking for, people say they want no maintenance garden. There's really no such thing as a no maintenance garden, but there is such thing as a low maintenance garden. And so I'm taking some blue spruce stone crop, and I'm transplanting it and putting it to this pot. It will fill out over time. It will start to drop pieces to the ground, and they will then start to grow in the ground as well. And this is something that can survive off of very little water. And also when it rains, that's enough water. Every now and again, give it a little drink. But for the most part, it will be very happy, and it's yellow. Okay, so using what I have as far as plants without having to buy a thing, this is what we come up with. And the goal also, again, is to find something that is very, very low, little to no maintenance. But look at that purple up against the yellow. That is so pretty. And the green, I just love it. So I have Purple Heart for my spiller, and I have some Dusty Miller. It was in my little planter here. I just pulled that out. And then I have some Canna Lily with the yellow blooms. This will get really thick over time. I did fill the entire pot from bottom to top with just soil. I didn't add anything to cut back on soil, because those roots from the actual Canna Lily, those will grow pretty decent. And so I wanted to have plenty of room to grow down. So this is awesome. I can't wait to see what this looks like on her porch, or somewhere near the porch. I don't know where it's going yet. So I didn't steal it, I borrowed it. So neighbor, if you're ever watching this video, and I don't know that you are following my channel, but I didn't steal it, I just borrowed it so I can clean it up for you and put a pretty little pot on it, baby. And let's see how this turns out. Okay, so I was really hoping to finish this in one day. I started too late in the morning. It is hot. It is probably 90 degrees, approaching it anyway already. Maybe it's not even that hot, but it's the heat index and the humidity. I'm standing in the shade. There's the planter pot. I don't know where I should put it. I thought I could try to hide the shrub that has that's dying. And I don't know, I may move it, I may put it on the porch, but I want it to get enough sun, and on the porch it may not. This is an east-facing garden bed. I've pulled lots of Purple Heart. I'm gonna do some fill-ins throughout the bed the way I started down there. This is where the bench was sitting, and I think I'm gonna put some gravel and rock right there in that little area. Whoever put her edging in, they were trying to do the snake effect, I get it, but they left her irrigation tubing exposed, which is really meant to be part of her flower bed. So I'm digging around that and thinking about putting some type of stone or rock just in that one little cove, and then putting some type of stone crop or succulents in there, something that doesn't require really much watering. This little metal, I don't know what that is, to be honest. I think it is, I thought it was a bird bath, but it looks like some type of dowel on top, astrological something, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm using it as a planter now, so I put some of the stone crop in there. I only have one Canna Lily for right now that will grow pretty large. The only thing is it may not spread like they normally do in my flower bed, because I don't know how much they'll get watered, and underneath this mulch are plastic bags. Whoever did her original mulch put all the bags from the mulch to act as a weed barrier underneath, so I've cut around it, and that may prevent the rhizomes of the root system from spreading and popping up new plants. So hopefully that will get pretty thick. I did put it there intentionally because of the water runoff. So if you're not watering, and that particular canna lily doesn't mind having a bit of wet feet. You can use those in pond areas. They like the moisture. So that's why I put that there. So let me get back to it and see what we can come up with. Again, using all materials that I have without trying to go and buy any plants. I'm going to try Ready Seal. This stuff is extremely watering. You get a lot of use out of it though. It goes a long way. A little goes a long way. So that's what it looks like before. And with one stroke of the brush, okay, let me quit kidding. It wasn't a brush. Y'all have seen that before in your kitchen, right? So I just dipped it, went straight down one time, and that is the color that you get. So let's take a look at it when it's done. So real quick, I wanted to show this side of the bench where it has all the rust on it. I wasn't gonna take this off to try not to get the metal wet from the Ready Seal. It was my understanding Ready Seal is only good for wood, but when I accidentally got some on the metal, it made it look new, and I thought, okay, let's give it a shot. It's not gonna hurt anything. It's sitting outdoors and maybe it will help seal it. So here's an example of what the rusted the rusted metal looks like after it's wet with the Ready Seal. I think that's awesome. I love this stuff. I am not a sponsor, or they are not a sponsor, but I love it. It is some good stuff. All right, I think it came out pretty good for something that has been sitting outdoors for years and had tons of rust on it. The wood was very, very aged, and I still like how it is still showing a little aged with some of the original wood grain coming through, and I love this dark color stain. I'm gonna be restaining my back fence in the next year or so. It's been a while, and the darker the better. I would be happy with a total dark brown, black stain. In fact, I think I might go black. This one is actually called Mission Brown, and it's what I use on my back garden fence. So voila, I like it. I hope she does. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up for right now with this last little planter. I had 2 clay pots that were broken, and it's cracked all the way around. But I took one that was broken and sat it inside the other, and you can see where it's broken there. And I just put in some blue spruce with the yellow bloom, and I was just about to walk it over to her house, and I remembered I have some yellow spray paint. Because I've already planted it up, I don't want to spray paint the whole thing, so I just spray painted the bottom. And so we have a little pop of yellow. Now I'm gonna take it over there, and this will be the last thing for today. All right, I am all done. Let's go take a look at what we've done so far. All right, so we have a pot on the end with salvia, canna lily, sweet potato vines, and the whole point was to use things that I already had, didn't have to buy anything new as far as plants. And I did maybe spend about $40, and that includes soil, planter soil for the pots, the pot itself, I'll show you in a second, and a pillow. I don't even know if I spent that much. And I was able to get a little yellow gnome, so somewhere in the $40 range. Let's see, we have little coves or little pop outs where I added the purple, and here, this little grassy area, I put some sand down. The goal was to fill this in with all rock, or fill it in with all pea gravel, but I'm tired. I got a half a bag of pea gravel in the back, and we're approaching 100 degrees now, so I'm gonna stop at a few rocks up front. I just sprinkled around, but I put the blue spruce in there. When all this fills out and it gets really thick, it will be very, very pretty. I did want to also give her this little angel that I had in my front yard for the last several years. When I found out she was an angel mom like me, I thought this has to be the perfect final touch for me to kind of add. So I hope she likes that. And here's the little planter where I spray painted the bottom with some yellow. And that canna lily is not looking pretty lush right now, but in time it will. And the good thing about all the plants I use, they're all perennials. Everything will come back. The not so good thing about a few of them is that in the winter time, when they die off, you can leave the dead foliage, or I like to clean mine up. But that's why I say there's no such thing as no maintenance, but you can have low maintenance plants. Very little watering will be required for these plants. And there's this sweet little yellow gnome that we put in. There's her planter, finished off with a little pillow that I found as well. So, and that pillow has a little yellow and red gnome on it. So that's it. Let me just back up. I did also put a while back, a few weeks ago, some purple heart under her tree. So that's the final look from a blank slate with red mulch. And I need to cut those suckers out the tree too. You know, if you have crepe myrtle trees, it really doesn't take but a few minutes to snip those off. And in case you don't know what I mean by suckers, it just makes the tree look so much more cleaner. That's all these shoots that are coming up. I try to keep those off. There is such thing as sucker punch. You can buy on Amazon, and it looks like a white, thick, milky substance that you spray onto the trunk when you cut it off. It doesn't permanently keep them from coming back, but it does slow the progress, and over time, they really stop coming in. So I really recommend using that. But this is it for now. Thank you guys so much. Let me know what you think. Give me some feedback. And over time, we can add more things to this. These purple vines are going to fill in the purple heart and get thicker, but I don't know how much they'll spread just because I left the plastic underneath the mulch in place to keep it from spreading too much in case she wants to do something different down the road. But thank you guys so much.